What's up, guys? This is Austin from Calling My Shot, and I'm about to break down this NFL season wild card weekend. We had 3 games this Saturday, and I'll give another recap tomorrow for the Sunday games. But hey, Saturday games are just wrapping up. The Bucks just took care of the Washington football team. I'm just gonna go through the big storylines of the day, and we'll just start with the first game: Colts versus Bills. Bills won 27-24, but the Colts impressed me. I didn't expect them to be this close. I mean, no, not many expected them to even have a lead or even have a chance to win this game as good as they were all season. But Josh Allen continued to impress. And Philip Rivers, man, if this is the end of the line for him, he's going to go out on a good note. Let me get his stat line. 27-46, not the greatest, but 309 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's Philip Rivers for you. He's going to throw it deep. He's going to have his wonky release, but I'm happy to see what he did this year and how successful he was with this Colts team. Whether or not he runs it back is still a question that he'll have to decide with his wife and his 100 kids. But hey, man, I just love Philip Rivers. I think he's a great, fun player to watch, and I love watching those trash talking videos of him. And he's just he's a character, and it'd be a shame to see him go out like this. But this was arguably the best year for a team led by Philip Rivers he's ever had. So I'm happy to see him do well this year. As for the Bills, the first half wasn't great for the Bills. If it wasn't for a late Josh Allen rushing touchdown, they would have went into the half with a trailing to the Colts. And it seemed like in the first half they were just out of rhythm. It looked like there was nerves. Like they kept running the ball, something they never did all year. They were always a pass first team, and if they ran it, it was Josh Allen running the ball, which go figure. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it was. Josh Allen had 54 rushing yards, easily their team high, and he had over 300 passing yards for, I think, the 9th game this year. Josh Allen's looked great, looked like an MVP candidate all year, and I was happy to see them improve as the season went on, and especially this game. They kept getting better, and they were able to take care of the Colts. It'll be interesting to see them next week. Still not sure who they are going to play. They'll either be playing, let's see, 5-6. They could play the Browns. Or no, they have no chance of playing the Browns. But I don't know. We'll see what the matchups are like, and I'll break those down on Sunday, what I'm looking forward to for next week. But we're going to move on. The Bills. Bills are a threat to the Chiefs out in the AFC, and we'll see what they can do next week. Rams versus Seahawks. Just look at this score, 30-20, and see all these points. You'd think, wow, this was a high-scoring game. This looks action-packed. It was actually the opposite of that. I don't know how they combined for 50 points. Neither team could really move the ball all game. The Seahawks struggled. They probably had, I think, 5 to 7 3-and-outs. They just looked terrible, and they have looked terrible for 8 to 10 weeks. They started off hot 6-1, and ever since then they've been bad. And John Wolford, hopefully he's okay. He went out early with a head injury, and then we got to see Jared Goff in there, and he looked just about as good as Jared Goff normally looks. And whether or not that's an insult to him, I don't care. But he's got a wonky thumb. I don't know about these Rams and how far they can go, but I was happy to see them take care of the Seahawks. I'm not a Seahawks fan. Jamal Adams, he comes out that he had a bunch of injuries, but still, I'm just not sold on them. And Russell Wilson always does this every single year. He starts out hot. He's an MVP candidate. And then throughout the second half of the year, he always fades away. And then people are like, what? How does he not have any MVP votes on his career? Well, hey, there you go. He fades away every single year. And, that's just how his career has progressed besides the beginning of it when he won his Super Bowl. I don't think the Rams can get very far. Jared Goff's still going to be hobbled. Doesn't look like Wolford. John Wolford will be back next week. Aaron Donald left the game early with a rib injury. Cooper Kupp, I think it's just a bone contusion at the moment, but he's banged up. Cam Akers left towards the end of the game with an injury. This was they won their one game, and now they'll probably get bounced next week. But hey, we'll see. They can match up. That defense is great. They can match up against anyone, and they could beat them, and I wouldn't be too surprised. And then the last game of a game of Saturday wild card weekend, the Buccaneers versus the Washington football team. Tampa if they lost this game, and I'm a Tampa native in case you don't know, if they lost this game, it would have been totally what Tampa Bay sports always does. They always let their fans down in every way. They had no interest losing this game to the Washington football team. That wasn't even playing with Alex Smith, but they had Taylor Heineke, and man, did he earned himself a payday. Props to him. He's going to make a couple $1,000,000 just off tonight's performance because he looked like probably the best backup of the year. Maybe Taysom Hill, but I don't know what the heck that is. But yeah, man, Taylor Heineke, he impressed. He gave them a chance. They had a chance to go down and drive and tie the game with a 2-point conversion and a touchdown, but they weren't able to get it done. A sack late on third down made it fourth and a mile, and then he just had to throw up a Hail Mary that fell incomplete. And I would have liked to see better out of the Bucs in their defense. To be specific, Tom Brady's going to do Tom Brady things. He put up 30 points again. That's what he does, but. Devin White wasn't there, so I can't put all the blame, on the Bucs. They were missing one of their best premier linebackers, but they left some to be desired, and I'm curious where they will go in the next year or next week in the playoffs. I know for sure the 5. Well, my mistake. They're the 5 seed, so the Rams just won. So unless I guess tomorrow we have the Saints versus the Bears. So unless the Bears win, then they will likely Bucs versus Saints for the 12th time this year. Bucs have lost both of those games, so not great as a Bucs fan and a Tampa native to see them go up against Drew Brees if they do, get through the Chicago Bears tomorrow, which they should. But I don't know. It will be fun to watch. You never bet against Tom Brady, or else if you do, you're going to be a losing man. So I guess we'll see. And then, give you my quick predictions for tomorrow. I think the Baltimore Ravens get the job done against the Tennessee Titans. They have some revenge on their mind. I think they can do it. If they don't, that means Derrick Henry had a field day on them, and they don't deserve those memes. Bears Saints, we just talked about that. I think this game's going to be closer than people think, but Mitch Trubisky will make an error at the end of the game. That's what he does. That's what he's known for. So they'll lose, and the Saints will move on. And then Browns versus the Steelers. If COVID wasn't as big of a deal as it is for the Browns this week, I think they could stand a chance. But Steelers are getting Big Ben back. They're at home. I just don't see the Browns without Kevin Stefanski, who's out due to COVID protocol, just coming in there and beating the Steelers. Just not going to happen. And it's not their fault. But, the Browns, they had a good run. I mean, they're 11-5 on the year. You got, as a Browns fan, you have to be happy with what they did this year. It's unfortunately just the road's ending, and it's your time to get out of here. So that will be it for today. I will be back tomorrow to break down those 3 games, and we'll see how they go. And it's been Calling Our Shot. Be sure to follow us on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook at Calling Our Shot, as well as check out our website at callingOurShot.com. I'll be back soon. Peace out, guys.